Yeah.
And
oh dear.
I know this is the Irish special show, but let's give 10 minutes to some of that information and give us your thoughts on it.
Well, I like to put things in perspective. And there's 10,500 people from the official records have died. There's no proof that anyone's died. Some may have one or two here and there, but they'll just allocate it now to the latest fear porn, which is coronavirus. Before it was Ebola, before it was H1N1, then it was AIDS, then it was SARS, and all of the other stuff. And everybody didn't die then. So you've got the official record of 10,500 people, which is the equivalent of one small town in America, of which there are 33,000. That's in one state out of 50, is in one country out of 209, is in one continent out of 7. That puts it into perspective. And yet that's a pandemic. And yet 3,000 people in Africa per day die of malaria. Where is the pandemic for Africa? That's your perspective. As for the goons who are panic buying and their service to self and part of the 85% bot people, you're not going to help them. They're not going to help us ever. You know, the service to self and service to self are takers.
Yeah.
And you can't help those people. You know, I said this 2 or 3 years ago. They're not going to learn anything. They're not there to learn anything. They're essentially walking computer machines with software programs telling them, do this, obey, control, buy. It's they live.
That's the movie They Live, just in case people haven't seen it. Yeah,
they live it in action. So let's look at it from another angle. And now they're talking about putting people in homes and let's all tell tales on everyone if there's a gathering of more than 10. And people complain about police states, and yet some people will ring up. Who? It's the same service to self-bot people again. You know, the people are the big brother. Yeah, we have enough if back in the UK people ringing hotlines if someone's working off the side. How's that helping you? It's not. You know, interfering in other people's lives, you know, the curtain twitches. You know, focus on your own. But then we've got other incidents here. So they're saying you can't have gatherings of more than 10. So why are the police going around in gatherings then? Why did the US military send 30,000 troops into the hot zone of the alleged virus in Europe with no masks?
That's right. Yeah. That you have to ask the question about, you know, why that is the case. And there was...
And your own Irish government, they're holding meetings and committees of more than 10. Are they immune?
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what it's like, you know. Do as I say, not what I do, you know.
Well, this is it. So if the American government, or the clowns as we know it, that are running the government by proxy, can send 30,000 American troops into the hot zone, which is Europe now, not China. There's hardly any more cases there. Why? Because it was contained, and the rest of what's gone on is engineered. So if 30,000 American troops can go over there, all congregating together with no masks, what does that tell you?
So where are we with the virus? I mean, on your show you talked about there's two cabals left. It's the Rockefeller Rothschilds and the Black Sun. So who released the virus? Do you know?
Originally it came from Fort Derrick.
Okay, but which faction was that?
Well, there's several factions, but they're playing each other. It's their game, it's not ours. All of this is faction fighting. That's why I did the show 4 years ago, so people would understand it. Why do you think you're getting a plethora of disclosure on this person and that person and this group? Why it's not the good guys giving you that plethora of disclosure. It's the factions throwing each other under the bus. Now, we're going to get a lot of benefit from it because it's going to prove a lot of things that we've said on your show, my show, and the other shows. But you have to understand it. It's not the white hats, because that's a load of rubbish, or the good this or the good that. The only good faction fighting for and by the people on this planet at a level that is capable of doing so is Kim and I. I wish that wasn't the truth, but it is. Because all the rest of them are all playing faction games. They're either working for the Rothschilds or they're working for the Black Sun. You know, Drake hung himself last week, and so did Cobra. They put out, yet again, mass arrests, and we're going to declare martial law tomorrow. The only people who wanted martial law was the Rothschilds and the Black Sun. There is no white hats pushing for martial law to then round up bad guys. There is none.
Okay. So there's no martial law because, as you said in your show, if that happens, then Kim would be the person.
Well, for a couple of hours on Monday, we've covered probably 5% of what took place on Monday in the show and the little updates. All hell broke loose on Monday. They declared martial law, the Rothschilds and the Black Sun. One was going to use FEMA, one was going to use the UN. And because of rank and security clearances, in time of martial law, the trustee, which is the highest security clearance, exactly the same as the previous trustee, as he ran everything, becomes the higher power under martial law, because that trustee was the higher power under the martial law for the previous 16,500 years. We were under martial law. We have been for 16,500 years until 2016. So Kim has the clearance to then run the martial law. Funny enough, so do I, because of my security clearance. So then they realised that Kim would be running it as the highest security clearance, and they pulled out and backed off. Because at that point, had that martial law been carried through, Kim then has control of all the governments and all the militaries and all the agencies, and we win.
And that's on a global level?
Global level.
Okay. So basically, there should be no country declaring martial law, because if they do, then automatically Kim would be in charge.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, we'll keep an eye out for that.
You know, we can't apply it in all countries. It's not possible. We're being stretched. You know, we have a range of things that we're doing. Kim has a range of things that she does. So we can't be in every country at every given day.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people who think, well, you have to come and help Ireland, or you have to come and help Ethiopia, or you have to come and help Zambia. You know, we're two people.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing our best.
No, that's
and we're doing well.
Yeah.
We are winning.